Hello, I'm Kimberly, and welcome to the weekend edition of the Native News Update. It's Friday, April 22nd, and many of the stories you hear here can be found at IndianCountryTV.com. And here's the news for today from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. The Standing Rock Reservation in North Dakota and the Colville Reservation in Washington have been selected as test sites ahead of the 2020 census as officials mull over whether to ask for the first time about tribal enrollment. These two reservations will be the focus of next year's testing on tribal lands in efforts to avoid a 5% undercount of the population seen in the 2010 census. The test sites were selected in part because they have more than 2,000 housing units each and a large percentage of a population that identifies as American Indian. The areas also hold the potential for undercounting because of their lack of traditional home addresses. The test will allow people to respond using the traditional paper questionnaires as well as by phone and online. Census workers will be sent to addresses that don't provide answers using any of the available methods. In addition to the standard questions, the Bureau will experiment with asking individuals to identify their tribal enrollment. The agency has met with tribal focus groups to develop 3 questions on tribal enrollment and has been testing them in interviews designed to study how people respond. 2 of the 3 questions will later be selected to be used during next year's test. A nonprofit in Rapid City is reaching out to schools across South Dakota to educate the educators about historical trauma and how past misfortunes and mistreatment of Native Americans can stunt the development of their young. Freedom Lodge started its inaugural training sessions this month in the school district on the Standing Rock Reservation. Freedom Lodge Executive Director Ruby Gibson said the schools are so central to the Native American philosophy and the way people rally around their kids. The way Gibson and the other experts define it, historical trauma is the sum of culture's accumulated traumatic events that reverberate into the present. Gibson hopes that by taking her message to South Dakota schools, knowledge of historical trauma and how to treat it will spread from the classroom into the home and throughout the communities in which she speaks. Convinced her lessons can help, Gibson said that if teachers take a few minutes every class to do the exercise Freedom Lodge offers, they can radically change the atmosphere of the class from one of chaos to one of learning. For more information, you can check out freedomlodge.org. United Tribes Technical College in Bismarck, which is run by 5 American Indian tribes in North Dakota, is waiving tuition for members of federally recognized tribes, hoping to boost enrollment and give students a better financial start in life. The college will launch the 1-year pilot program beginning with the fall semester and end its participation in the federal student loan program. The school draws students from around the country and currently has 393 students enrolled, with 40 tribal nations represented in the student body. United Tribes is not the first to offer tuition waivers. More than half of the 37 tribal colleges and universities in the nation have some sort of tuition waiver program. The college will review the effectiveness of its tuition waiver program early next year. It will be offered at least through 2017 summer semester. Narragansett tribal member Mickey Wozencroft of Manhattan ran in the Boston Marathon on April 18th in honor of fellow Narragansett Ellison Tarzan Brown, who won the marathon in 1936 and 1939. Wozencroft said on Facebook that it was the hardest course she has ever run, but that it was the best experience of her life. Her official time was 4 hours, 29 minutes, and 44 seconds. The 2016 race is the 80th anniversary of Brown's first marathon victory, the 50th anniversary of women being allowed to race, and the 120th anniversary of the marathon. To mark the anniversary of Brown's first victory, the Boston Athletic Association presented Native American Running, Culture, Health, Sport, a free multi-day event leading up to the marathon that explored the history and importance of Native American running traditions and featured speakers and panel discussions. Along with Brown, the Athletic Association celebrated Thomas Longboat, a distant runner of the Onondaga Six Nation people, who won the marathon and set a course record time of 2 hours, 24 minutes, and 24 seconds in 1907. And that's another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me and have a grand day.